This is Josiah Pike with Alaska's News Source. We're bringing you a story we're reposting from the Alaska Beacon. We're reporting that members of the Alaska Senate have spoken critically about a proposed ferry terminal in Juneau and are questioning why this project might be worth the multi-million-dollar cost. Now, earlier in the year, state legislators plan to divert $62 million from a variety of transportation projects in order to pay for the state share of federal transportation grants that are worth between $500 and $600 million. Now, lawmakers included the diversion in their budget this year, but Governor Dunleavy vetoed the maneuver, saying that the funding is, quote, either still obligated in the original project or has been fully expended and is unavailable for reappropriation. And now this left legislators' spending plan partially unfunded. To bring you our story on our website, alaskasnewssource.com, where you can read the full story, but just to bring a few more of the details. One of the lawmakers' biggest targets in the past spring was the Department of Transportation's plan to build a new ferry terminal in Juneau, roughly 30 miles north of the existing terminal in Juneau, at a place called Cascade Point, which would shorten ferry runs to Haines and Skagway. Legislators sought to divert $37 million from an account intended to fund that new terminal, but Governor Dunleavy vetoed the transfer, and the DOT subsequently signed a $28.5 million contract for work on the terminal. And in October, the state's Ferry Advisory Board concluded that the project likely did not make economic sense. Lawmakers don't have the votes to override the governor's vetoes, which means that when they reconvene in January, they'll have to come up with a new way to fund construction work this summer. And in addition to that, documents presented to the committees on Friday, these documents claim the DOT has deferred about 25 projects in the past 1 to 3 years to remain within available match. Now, without new money, fewer projects will move to contract award, limiting construction activity. To repeat some of the basic points here, in a Friday hearing, members of the Alaska Senate spoke critically about a proposed new ferry terminal in Juneau and questioned if the project would be worth its multi-million-dollar cost. State legislators had planned to divert about just over $60 million from a variety of transportation projects in order to pay for the state share of federal transportation grants, but lawmakers included the diversion in their budget for the year. However, Dunleavy vetoed the maneuver, saying the funding is either still obligated to the original project or has been fully expended and is unavailable for reappropriations. That puts a bit of a hurdle in the way of that project. Now, to read the full story, it's available up on our website now on alaskasnewssource.com, as well on the Alaska Beacon, where we're republishing the story with their permission. So check out either of those sources to get the full story, as well as tuning into our mobile app or our daily news broadcasts on KTUU and KYES to get more information on this story. Should any meaningful updates come about in this story, we'll keep you updated in all those places. Thank you again for tuning in today to learn a little bit about this story. Tune into our website, alaskasnewssource.com, to read the full article, and have a good day.